Tom Hartman, and I built this signal group because I know what it's like to trade in the dark. Second guessing every move, chasing unreliable calls.
The bears are running scared on Bitcoin as they're trying to push the price down below 119 because they know if we cross 119.1, we are going to be blasting off to 150 before we know it. But this is a game whose ending we know already. We win. We win. All that and more in today's Sunday Fuel.
The year is 2020. As the old financial empires collapsed and crypto drowned in noise and false prophets, one man lost everything. And in that loss, he was called. Through the wreckage of his own failure and the precision of his charts, a higher force revealed what others could not see and entrusted him with a mission to guide others through the chaos he barely survived. They call him Sacred Prophet. And now, the revelation is yours to claim.
Congratulations, Peter. Congratulations. We're almost there. We're going to get there, Peter. 150 in July. It's all but guaranteed. Place your bets, folks. Because the bears are running scared. The sweet tears of bears. Never thought we would be so close. Cheers, MFers. Cheers.
What? We're close to what? 150?
Oh, close to 50, 150, close to 200, close to 300. Guys, we are about to blast off. The only two scenarios that are left is that we take off right now to 150 or we take a quick break at 113. Either way, we're going to win. Oh, right. We're going to win.
So, okay. So what are we, don't spill the beans, but what are we talking about during this stream here today?
We're talking about Bitcoin building up for an explosive move, either up or down, but net up.
Wait, that's not what, that's not what you told me. You told me that will Bitcoin go straight up to 150 or revisit 113 then 150? Is that not what we're talking about here today?
That's exactly what I just said.
Well, you didn't say it in so many words, and the video editor, and I know you didn't. Okay, I need to get it for the AI. All right, good. And I want to tease people because I wanted to know what they're watching during the stream. Look, I'm learning. You're staying whatever you are, and I'm learning. So
Bitcoin's going to 150 this month. Okay. Guaranteed.
All right, hang on. That's not learning. What's learning is you got to tease people with suspense. Will Bitcoin hit 150? Am I still right about this prediction? Let's take a look at the charts. That's what you got to do. All right, so start it over. Go ahead.
Will Bitcoin hit 150 in July? Yes, no, maybe. Let's find out more later on the show. That's what we call a teaser.
That's the hook.
That's a warm up. That's burying the lead. That's doing exactly the thing that I hate on every video. Skip.
No, it's the smart thing to do on your videos. There's ways to do it.
Smart thing to do. Yes. It's smart also for me to show my cleavage to get the girls out.
Do you have cleavage? Because if you do, just throw it in there.
Sacred Prophet OF. Subscribe. Limited time only. Only $2 this month.
Question: Why is your microphone so loud? Did you turn up your microphone on your mixer?
No, but I haven't. But I am speaking at 25% more. Sacred Prophet.
Okay, I just because I don't want the audio to be bad. Am
I peaking? Should I bring it down?
No. Just keep it to whatever it is normally. It sounds fine. All right, Tom, I cut you off. I apologize. As your second in command, first officer, I prefer that. First officer, because it has first in it, which makes you, I guess, zero officer, which, appropriate. I got to get you back on track. So, will we hit 150 or revisit 113 to 150? Is that still in the cards? What's going on? I want to know. But before we do, I got to tell you, I am super happy about what's happening to Bitcoin and Cardano. I don't know if you're going to be talking about Cardano, I think your indicators are good for all kinds of assets, all kinds of cryptos. I don't know why we're stuck on Bitcoin, but I want to hear about Cardano too. Can you tell me, please?
Welcome, everyone, to Sunday Fuel. I'm one of your hosts, Tom Sacred Prophet Hartman, joined as ever by my plucky assistant in training, Aaron, in trading, bad guru, Peter Hartman. Let's try that again.
All your
Hi,
interesting.
everybody. Welcome to Sunday Fuel. I'm your main host and fearless leader, Sacred Prophet, also known as Tom Hartman. We have here, as always, my plucky little sidekick, Peter Hartman, also known as Bad Guru. Today, we have some juicy tidbits. I'm always here looking to find ways of making you money in the easiest possible way. Peter, you asked, why do we focus on Bitcoin? I'll tell you. I trade currencies, I've traded bonds, futures, stocks, almost every asset I can think of, and the derivatives of those assets. And if I thought any of those or a mix of those would be the best thing to do in order to make the most amount of money, that's what I'd be focused on. But there is no asset class that's better than crypto. And until the altcoins really rip off, Bitcoin is really the asset to trade. Whether you're doing 50x leverage, whether you're doing ETFs, whether you're doing prop firms, whether you're doing polymarket Kalshi bets, Bitcoin is where it's at. That's why I focus on it. The Lord of liquidity is the God that I serve. He is the God of the holy global empire, and I, his humble servant. And he speaks primarily about Bitcoin. Is it because Bitcoin is a national intelligence agency scheme designed to revamp the financial system and do a debt jubilee on a global scale and instantiate elite power for the next 1,000 years? Or is it because the psychedelic realm has pushed into the digital realm in order to go through the passive least resistance, in order to get to us, the humble people of this world, in order to wake us up to the abundance of power and profitability that we have for the future? Yes and yes.
Yes and yes. Okay.
Yes and yes.
Wonderful.
Either way, Bitcoin's the way to go. Bitcoin's the way. Bitcoin's the way.
All right.
How's it going, Peter?
It's going great. I'm looking at Bitcoin at 118. I'm wondering about my polymarket bet. I'm looking at ADA at 0.86, 87. Super happy about that. Wondering if that's going to skyrocket. I'm here today for Sunday Fuel. I want to know from the Sacred Prophet what's going on. But first, you have an offering of indicators, special indicators, secret indicators, premium indicators. I don't know what kind of qualitative adjectives I want to put in front of that to make it sound tantalizing, but they are tantalizing, delicious indicators that are available if you go to sacredprophet.com. So how about telling us about that and then jumping into the charts?
Yeah, that's where I make my bones. I'm a programmer and researcher, and I make indicators in order to help me make money. And one of those ways that I make money is giving you these indicators. And you can go to sacredprophet.com, sign up for free, gratos, gratuit. Get these indicators added to your chart, and then you won't really need me. You'll be able to see, you'll have the essence of Tom right there, essence of Sacred Prophet right there, that you can use in order to predict price movements on your own. Now, I know, you'll still want to come over here every now and then because one, I'm going to have new indicators that you're going to know about, and two, some interpretations only I can give you. I get that. And you'll become an acolyte and you'll follow me and you'll hang on to my every word, and I don't want that. I don't want that, really. I think that's a little bit too garish.
There was a comment that was on one of our videos. There was a comment on one of our videos, and I'm sorry, I think it accidentally got deleted. But somebody called you a con man, and it made me wonder, like, how are you a con man if you're not selling anything? What's going on there? What's your response to those who call you a con? To the individual who called you a con man?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I'm a con man. I'm a confidence man. I deal in confidence. I learn, apply my thoughts, develop tools, show you the trades that I'm doing, build accountability over time so that I have confidence in order to trade on. Is this a bad thing?
No, that's not what they mean by confidence, con man. They mean that you're tricking people. You're tricking them.
Okay, so if I'm doing a 3-card Monty over here, at some point I gotta ask you to put money on the table.
Right.
At some point I gotta ask you for something. And I ain't asking you for anything. Do you know why? Because I don't care to. You think I want to build a whole system, multiple businesses, and to support every Tom, Dick, and Harry who comes through here? No. What you get, and you're going to like it, is my tools for free. And I'm not going to hear anything else about it.
I think you might hear a little bit more about it.
And you're going to get it for free because, 1, it keeps me accountable. 2, it's fun to do. And it's not going to be around forever because I'm telling you, as soon as I break a certain number, I'm out of here. You never see me again.
But also, how do you get paid? How do you get paid if people get these indicators?
Sure. Look,
And pull them up on screen soon. I want to see them.
Yeah, you guys are on. You guys are already trading on crypto exchanges. You're already doing that. So what happens is that you head over to sacredprofit.com, and what you'll be asked to do is to sign up as an affiliate for the platform. So basically an exchange that you're already using or you haven't used yet, you're going to sign up as an affiliate for that platform. You'll go ahead and sign up, just use our affiliate code. And the thing is here, we get to cut off the fees that you're paying already. That's the way that I see it. Peter and I, we've always been in this idea that, hey, let the bigwigs pay, let the exchanges pay, let the advertisers pay, let the people who are already spending money in order to try to get your visibility or you're already paying, let them do it. You got Twitch Prime, you got Amazon Prime. Just do it that way. Why do we have to go somewhere else and you have to have some other subscription fee? I don't want to be sitting here offering you things at $10,000 a year subscription plans. I'm not interested in that. I mean, I might do that in the future, but I ain't doing that now. That's not what I'm interested in. So it's all free. Use them. These are exactly the same tools I use. I don't have a different set of tools that I use. The only other thing that I use is my intimate connection with the Lord of Liquidity that tells me what's going to happen in the future. But that's for all shamans. I don't know what are you going to do. Like, I can't separate that from myself.
So what
it's
I
like
want,
my devilish good looks. I can't impart that on you. There's nothing I can do about that.
Your
That's just who I am.
looks?
Yeah.
Look, this is what I want you to do. When we get to the charts and you're going to be talking to us about what is that?
I'm just practicing my grip strength.
What
you can
for?
go ahead and keep talking.
You're going to American Ninja Warrior?
No, I'm just hardcore like that.
You're just hardcore. All right.
I'm just hardcore like that.
I mean, I'm doing it too, but it's lower down. When we look at the charts and we look at Bitcoin, I'm very interested in knowing if your prediction is still on course for 150 or if we're going to be going back to 113. Both scenarios, excellent, by the way, I think. I mean, as far as I understand it, we'll make money both ways. But if you could just point out your indicators that are on the charts and how that's helping you to identify this, I think people really want to know, especially that guy who called you a con man. I think he's out there. He's just watching. He's hate watching. And we got to give him some of the hate.
I mean, I don't think it helps that I talk a lot about the Holy Global Empire and that I'll play a couple of hands of fascism. Check out our back catalog for some of those clips. Pretty good. Just know that part of who I'm talking to is not just you, audience, but also our overlord AI systems. And I want to make sure that the algorithm feeds me to where I need to be, and then the only knocks I get on my door are people giving me options of how to sell out. That's all I want. I'm not looking here to be a revolutionary. I'm not going to be an Alexander Hamilton. I'm not going to be a Ron Paul. I'm not interested in doing any of that. Plenty of other people doing that. What they need is people with money in order to support them.
All right.
Like I see people like Nassim Haramein.
Yeah.
Who does like engineering research and physics research for like free energy and healing devices, and I go, oh, this is all interesting, but then he'll ask for money, right? Because he has the money in order to do it. He has the knowledge, and I go, I would love to be able to give him that money,
right?
But I can't do the research. What I can do is pander to the holy global empire in order to get the money necessary in order to funnel it to things like that.
All right.
That's my purpose. I want to get rich enough that I can help the other people doing the good work and not have to do it myself.
I wish I could believe that. I wish I could believe that. Sounds good. All right, Tom, let's get to it.
So take a look at the charts. You'll see here, I'll actually name a couple of the indicators that we're using right now. My three favorite ones that you'll see on basically all my charts is wave from the cycle series, anchors from levels from the anchor series, and trend from the anchor series. And that's what we have over here.
Say that again, so we get that clean.
So the three indicators you'll almost always see on the charts that I use is wave from our cycle series, levels from our anchor series, and trend also from our anchor series. And what this does is that it gives me the shape of the river of the market. Let me say that again, the shape of the river of the market. So what I like about wave is that everyone uses moving average envelopes. Some people do something small, they'll use one or two moving averages. If the moving average crosses or the price crosses up or below the moving average, okay, they consider that to be a signal. Wah, wah. To me, that's a little bit of a weak sauce sort of thing. Anybody can see that. Other people use complicated, robust moving averages where they might have 10, 15 on the chart that are moving all over the place in order to get a sense of what's going on. I find it to be a little bit too noisy. What are you following at any given time? The volume weighting moving averages that I use are specifically designed to adapt to any time frame that you're on. So it's not like when you're using the 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average on the regular chart, and then you go down to the 15-minute chart, and now you're seeing the same moving average, just larger. My moving averages will change. So on the 5-minute chart, it'll appear one way. We'll see here, load in a second. So it appears one way. So you get to see, hey, on the 15-minute chart, this is how it's moving. This is how the volume matters. This is what the historical reactions have been. And if I were to go to the daily chart, well, I'll see something different. So this will give me long-term trends that I could actually follow. That's why I love wave so much.
Do people want that? Do they want it to change dynamically?
Do they want it to change dynamically? They want to be able to look at the moving average on the chart and be able to tell where the price should go from there. They want to feel that intuitively. They don't want to have to think of all the little details. Should this be a 9-day moving average? Should this be a 15? Should it be a 50, a 200? Which one matters? Some people do, oh, it should be 20. No, it should be 21. And it's just crazy. Mine are tailor-made to be time frame agnostic because there are actually, I haven't actually counted it, but there are, let's call it 30 moving averages that you can see on the right side over here, and that they all turn on and off depending on what needs to be there. So over here on the daily time frame, we have these 3 at the top, and then these 5 in the middle, and then so on and so forth. Whereas on the 5-minute chart, it'll be a different set that shows up. So the script will determine what needs to be seen at any given time, so you can get a sense. I love it. I love it so much. If it makes you feel any more, oh my God, Tom's amazing, and please don't worship me. I didn't even make this. I didn't even come up with these formulas for charting. I came up with them independently for something else. And then I was like, hey, this could work for trading chart. Let me see. I tossed it on and boom. I was like, I never need another moving average ever again. This is unbelievable. I don't think I've ever put one on a chart other than just to show somebody else a moving average that they keep talking about. Never had to. All right. So let's take a look at the trades from last week, or the movement of the Bitcoin price over the last week. We look at Bitcoin week by week, quarter by quarter here, folks, because Bitcoin is an asset that is highly correlated with global dollar liquidity, and liquidity moves in longer trends. and you don't need to necessarily get down to a granular 1 minute chart for Bitcoin, and you don't need to focus on like, you know, a 1 year chart for Bitcoin. The week by week, month by month, quarter by quarter gives you a great idea of the seasonality of what's going on with Bitcoin. All right, so last week, which is denoted here by this red bar, these red bars are always the week, we moved up into that for the week. Now you remember what I said, what always happens on Bitcoin on Monday, almost always, is that the price of Bitcoin will move dramatically for that Monday. And then usually what you need to do is fade that for the rest of the week. So whatever move happened on Monday for Bitcoin, you have to assume that, so if it went up on Monday, you should have to assume that for the rest of the week, it'll go down and vice versa. So that's what we saw over here. We saw the price move up on Monday. So I knew that we were going to be headed down. Okay. Which is pretty cool. I just love that pattern. Over here, last Monday, for the week prior, we moved down on the Monday. So then we moved up for the week afterwards. The week before that, we moved down. So then we moved up for the following week. The magnitude of it, we don't know. And sometimes it falls not just on Monday, it'll continue on Tuesday, sometimes even to Wednesday, but usually by Tuesday morning, you know. And so that's what we had here. Now, what I was hoping for was for the price of Bitcoin to fall all the way down to 113.
Right.
This would have been what we call a perfect trade, a perfect setup. Because the likelihood that it would fall to 113 was a level that was a daily level that was missed in blue, and also a weekly level that was set up for last week. The last week's weekly trade, the target was 113. So that would have been a perfect entry because we would have had all the reason in the world to expect a significant bounce off that level. It didn't happen. Where did we go down to? We went down to, first on the Monday, we went straight down to the daily level. So that was expected to happen. We usually move from daily level to daily level. Move to the daily level. We continued lower. Where did we get to? To the weekly wave. This yellow line over here. Right? It's no coincidence. That's why these waves are so interesting. We bounced over here, that wave. We bounced over here again. And here we broke down below that wave. And now we bumped up against it. This weekly wave is what we've been respecting for the last little while now. Actually, we respect it quite often on the 2-hour chart. So once it came down, we got to bounce up. But where did we bounce up to? To the daily level over here that was missed. You see this blue line here?
Yeah.
That's a daily level. It's no coincidence. We went straight up of there and reversed. So when you're trading 50x leverage like I'm talking about, or however you want to trade with Bitcoin, you can't be surprised by these moves. When we get to the level, if we get to a level from underneath, expect a short. If we get to the level from above, expect a bounce. Does it happen 100% of the time? No. Is that what you should bet on because that's a high probability trade? Yes.
Not financial advice. Do your own research.
Fine, Peter. Not technical. Not advice. It's technical analysis, but it's how I see the chart. Now, here's the thing. Here's why we're on a knife's edge. So here's the thing. Here's why we're on a knife's edge. We moved up to this level. This level over here was the last, since we're in all-time highs now, we're in rarefied territory, that was the last level calling the price. We have no other levels calling the price up here. All right? So we could only really move on momentum, on liquidity, on liquidations, and all that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. It didn't happen. We moved down. And when we broke down, we broke below the yellow weekly volume weighted moving average. We fell below it, and then we came back up under it. Something I only started talking about last week, Saturdays, or what we call sideways Saturdays. Bitcoin price almost always is flat on Saturday. That means whatever price it opened at on the Saturday is the price we close at on that Saturday. Did you know this, Peter?
Oh, I know it from last week.
Yeah, so over here we have the price. We opened on this candle and we closed over here. So all the movements around are just oscillating around that level. If we take a look at previous week, not every week's exactly the same. If we take a look at the previous week, we see here we opened over here and we closed over here. Dead flat. Week before that, we opened over here and we closed. We closed up here a little bit, but then even the next day, the price came back down into that level. And you'll see that like again and again. It's not always exactly right, but it's pretty flat. Over here we open, here we close.
All right.
Right? So it doesn't happen all the time, especially if there's news or anything that happens on Saturday, it'll go all squirrely, but that's generally how it goes. So Saturday, I never pay attention to because I know that the price is going to be flat. What we take a look at that then is Sunday. And what we saw Sunday is that the price was moving steadily up, and it bounced up to, where did it bounce up to? It bounced up to the yellow weekly level. That's not coming down. It came up to the daily level from the previous Friday. So this is the daily level from the previous Friday. And it got into the developing moving average, the volume weighted moving average for that week. So there was all this downward pressure. This is all resistance that's above the price. So it's no wonder that even though we moved up over here, because the price was being pulled up by this daily level, boom, we immediately gave it all back. So the question now is what's going to happen? So that's the trades for the week past.
That's the previous week. All right, cool.
So there's a couple of questions that we have to ask. I always feel like, when you ever watch chess YouTube channels or competitions or whatever, and they'll be like, okay, well, now I'm putting the bishop, the knight's over here in f3, I'm going to put the bishop in order to pin it, and now I'm asking the question to the other person, what do you want to do about this bishop? So maybe they bring the pawn down in order to kick the bishop away, and you have a choice to either sacrifice it, do the exchange, pull it back. You're asking a question to the other player. And that's what's happening right now in our charts. The price of Bitcoin is basically asking, the chart is sort of asking, hey, bulls, bears, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Okay.
Because the ground didn't open up. We've been pretty much sideways since the 11th, right? We've been sideways basically this entire time, flat. We moved up, we moved down, we moved up, we moved down, and now we're getting flatter and flatter and flatter. In fact, if we put on our trend lines back on the chart, what we're seeing here is a pennant. So we have a move up, and then now we have this pennant, okay? A pennant, when you have a thing like this, if it were straight like this, a right angle this way, that's more committal. If it was a right angle this way, it's more committal. But when we have it this way, that means it can go up or down. It means the price action is in indecision. So when I take a look at the trade that's going to come up, the level that's going to come up next week, that's usually the first thing I look at to see, hey, what will be the bias come 10 p.m. tonight? Will the price bias lower or higher? And it's always about how near that weekly level is, which is going to be the next level that's closest by. And when we take a look over here, we see that the price is going to be, the level is going to be right here around 118.8. We don't know the final price until 10 p.m. tonight, or between 8 and 10 p.m. tonight, but it'll be at this level, which means we're pretty close to it, and we'd be coming up from the bottom. What did I say before? If you come up from the bottom of a level, short it. If you come from above, long it. So it all depends. The price sometimes gets squirrely, and right before 8 o'clock, the price can shoot up over here and then come down to that level and bounce and move its way forward, or it can continue underneath here, and all kinds of crazy things can happen. But the 118.8 level is a level right now that we're looking at, and we are below it. So we have to assume that we're headed lower. And if we're headed lower, where we head to? We'll head to these two levels here that are, it's no coincidence that they're coincided. There's no coincidence that this blue daily level and the red one are literally on top of each other. That's how strong that level is. So the likelihood is that we move down to over here.
What red one are you talking about?
Yeah, the likelihood is that we fall from where we are right now, or sorry, not the likelihood, I don't want to say that. There's a possibility, a 50-50 chance that we head down to 113, 113.2. Okay? Now, would I say go ahead and take that bet? No. I wouldn't take the bet for the short. I would say if we get to 113.2, go long. Because the bias is long right now for Bitcoin.
Right.
It's hard to short a bullish trend. Anything can happen in order to get it back up. Another act can pass for crypto. Some news can happen. Whatever. A coin could drop. You don't know what's going to happen. So if you're in a bullish trend, I don't recommend that you short, especially at such a bullish time where let's point out some of the bullish things that are happening right now. Because I pointed out bearish price action in that we're below the weekly level, and that the only level that's nearby are the ones at 113.2, but it's a bunch of bullish things. Number one, I did mention this pennant. However, we have this level over here in the middle of the price that started from way back yonder. So we have this level over here, and what we're seeing right now is that the price is pushing up against it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and now 5 times. If it goes back up there, it's trying to stay above that level, right? So that means there's this upward pressure that's happening, and every time it knocks at that level, the chances are that that thing will now break. And when it does break, the move is usually proportional to how much we were knocking against it. Right? So notice this move up, which was precipitous, and then basically straight sideways. Just boom, 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 let me out of here. So when the price actually moves up again, we could get a massive step change that launches us to 150. All right? Then you go, okay, Tom. I'm sorry. Okay, Sacred Prophet. Where would the tender come from? Where will the orders come from? Well, if we take a look at our liquidation chart on CoinGlass, we can see that if we take a look at Bitcoin over the last 30 days on Binance, OKX, and Bybit, do you remember last week, Peter, how much we were at here, the short? The week before, I think we were at 2.5 billion short versus like 400 million long. And then last week, I think we were at 4 billion short versus 400 million long or something like that. Do you know what we're at now?
Nope.
We're at 7 billion short. 7 billion short versus 750 million long. That means the shorts are not coming back in. Ooh, boy, these guys want to get wrecked. Okay, these shorts are coming back in. So that means whenever you have more shorts than longs, the likelihood, the market always wants to cause the most amount of pain to the most number of people. She's a cruel mistress. Whenever anyone's on one side of the boat, the market wants to move to the other side. This is why one of the reasons why you have this oscillation within the price. You ever wonder why prices keep going up and down and up and down and up and down, no matter what chart you look at? It just ebbs and flows in the sine curve. It's because there's always push and pull in order to cause the most amount of pain to the most number of people. Ooh. And so just like we saw last time, when we had this step change up over here from 109 up to 123, just like we had it before, the step change from 74 up to 115. These levels up, these jumps up are from liquidations, folks. From liquidations. Look, let's head over to CoinGlass again. Let's go to the liquidation history. This is going to be a little bit hard for you to see, but let me show it to you anyway. We'll just see it on Bitcoin, and we only have the information from basically 2021. But let's take a look at the price. So what we're seeing over here, the green bars, the green bars there are whenever long positions, leverage long positions are liquidated, which means the market is forcing a sell-off of all that leverage position. So if someone got $10 million long Bitcoin and get liquidated, the system automatically sells 10 million. Right? So you get that pressure. It doesn't slowly go and will ease out and will DCA. No. It just immediately sells it all. And the bigger the position or the sum of positions, the bigger the price shock on the chart. Same thing with the red bars, which are when the shorts get liquidated, the price moves up. So over here, I'm going to try to show you this over here, Peter, but over here, you see this red bar?
Yeah.
And how it coincided with this move up?
Yeah.
And then you have stuff like over here, this green bar coincided with this move down. I'm just trying to point you out to the ones where there's no like wiggles. It goes straight down. Mm-hmm. If we head back out. So then we had a period where this is a highly volatile period of shorts and longs, right? So it gets and that coincides with this volatility within the price. They get all liquidated out all the way down till we get to the bottom of the market over here. And what do we see? Super calm, right? The amount of volatility here is not high. Then we're getting back over here and we're seeing stuff like over here, this red bar coincides with this step change up. This green bar with this step change down, right? This red with this up, and so on and so forth. So if we take a look at what's going on over here now, we're seeing that, you'll see that this level over here, this red level over here, let me zoom in a little bit more. This level over here is happening with this step change. This one over here, this step change, and so on and so forth. Okay? Right. So when these liquidations, this is why the liquidations matter so much, because it'll cause a step change in the price. Right? And we're not even talking about a bunch of longs coming in afterwards. We're just talking about the shorts get burnt. And then they don't want to enter into another short until things calm down and go sideways, and then they'll add to their shorts. So you see over here, the red bars are getting more and more. Here they're larger, and larger still. This is the shorts keep getting wrecked more and more. So if now we have even more shorts coming, we can expect another step change up. Does that bring us from where we are now to 140 and beyond, 150? Who knows? But the bigger that short position is, the more significant it'll be. So since we have 10 times more shorts than we have longs, the bias is towards the long side, that those shorts will be liquidated out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that's interesting. And how do you get that map again? What's that website?
This is on this is CoinGlass, right? Yeah, coinglass.com.
And you're looking at the liquidation map on coinglass.com.
Yeah. Very, very useful. So we have liquidity in general up and to the right. If we take a look at the liquidity chart, our projection to the bottom of the screen, we have up and to the right here, liquidity is still going. We're only really seeing a peak here in September. We have way more shorts than we have longs. We have a history of the shorts getting liquidated more and more. The price is bumping up against moving up higher. And we're inside of a low volume summer period where chances are we're not going to get a bunch of bad news that's going to exacerbate markets. Those things usually happen 4 times during the year: September, March, January, and June.
But if Bitcoin ever goes to a Coldplay concert, that might be the end of it.
So just one thing I want to point out. You'll remember that I'll often say when the price is moving up, I hope we move to the weekly level.
Right.
because then it's healthier. We clear out a bunch of stuff. A bunch of the shorts. We can get the longs in, and we can move forward. And when we don't do that, we get this sort of plateauing until we can come down. So, for example, over here, we saw that over. Let me just make it a little bit clearer. All right, so we have our weekly levels. All right, take a look at the weekly levels over here.
Okay, wait, hang on. What are we seeing here? What's this indicator?
This is the levels indicator, and I've removed everything so that we're just seeing the weekly levels.
And
so
these
the red
levels
bars
are these are VWAPs?
Yes, exactly. So over here, what we're seeing is that a healthy move is that the price of Bitcoin moved up, went sideways, and then came down to the weekly level, grabbed some orders, and then headed back up. Right? But let's see here. This level over here, this is so painful. This level over here, this weekly level, when we moved up, we tried to get down to it, but we didn't. Look familiar? We didn't get down to the level.
Yep.
So what happens is the price moves sideways. It tries to move up, gets pulled back down, trying to get to the level. Didn't get there, moves back up, moves sideways, and we just don't get to the higher highs until we get to that level, grab the orders, and now we can launch. It's no wonder that we launched literally after hitting that 70. This was the 99, I think, level, and moved up. It's no wonder. So when we don't, because we haven't hit this level yet, if we hit this level now-ish, super bullish, guys. Super bullish.
Start selling.
No, start buying.
No, you start selling now to get it go down. Start dropping.
Sure, yeah. That would be super bullish. If we don't, then chances are we peak out at some place, whatever. We move sideways for a while, and we're coming back to 113 to sit at some point.
Don't like that.
Well, that if you're thinking about the short-term bullish move, can we get to 150 before the end of the month in order to make oodles of money on poly market? Well, that's sort of what we want. Right. Now, what we'd expect is a pop off. We get to 150, simmer around there for a while, and then move down. And maybe that's the top for the cycle, even. Who knows? And then we get down to 113. But we want a freaking wick at some point to come down to 113 to grab this level so that we can move up. Or either we clear it with a price, or
moving average.
We want to clear it with a wave. Mm-hmm. We want the wave over here. Let's move through our daily. So that's not likely to happen. So this wave over here, this yearly wave, you guys remember I've talked about this before when we're down at 74, that once this crosses over a level, it mitigates that level. In fact, the more waves cross above one of these levels, the less likely the price gets down there. You have to think of it in terms of buoyancy. You have to be denser and denser, and more of a volatile event, heaviness of selling or some sort of event shock in order to get down there. And so now if we take a look over here, the level of 113, we don't really have any waves come to cross above it. We have the weekly wave that crossed above it, which is okay, but that doesn't prevent it over here. Just because the weekly wave moved around over this level doesn't mean we didn't come back to it afterwards. So we would want to see even this seasonal level to come up drastically and cover it. So if, let's say, the price keeps skyrocketing and keeps moving or whatever, you're like, Tom, you're wrong. We didn't actually move to 113. Well, that means because eventually one of those wave levels are going to cross that price. And if it crosses the price, then we're done. We're only going to revisit it when we're going to head down on the end of the cycle. So it could still be bullish that we're not hitting that level, but it would be hella bullish if we hit 113. That would be like the ideal.
All right.
So what are we looking for the week coming up?
Yeah.
So far, it'll be 118.9, 119. That'll be the weekly level. If we hit it from the bottom, chances are we're going to bounce and head to 113. If we get to 113, let's hope that we get there as soon as possible. Imagine if we hit that, we hit 119 on this level over here on Monday, and we head down lower over here, 113. What does that mean? That means the Monday move was down. And the Monday move is down. That means the rest of the week should be up, which adds that a whole rocket up. If Monday is an up move, then chances are, and it doesn't like skyrocket, chances are we're headed down to 113. So we'll see what happens Monday. We want to clear one. I don't know. It's going to be one way or another. One thing's for sure, we got 2 weeks, a little bit less than 2 weeks for that poly market bet to pay off. And I would love to just get 113 cleared and get that out of my head so we can move up. But if we don't, let's hold on with gritted teeth. I should also mention that if you are doing the 50x leverage trades and you're added in at the perfect entries, you're not even worried. You're up. You're still up 400%, 500% on those positions because we're not gambling around up here. We're getting perfect entries at our weekly levels. So that means the last time that we seriously bought was over here at 105 and then previously at 99. All right. So when you're like, hey, Tom, can I get in now? Sure. But this is why I'm talking about getting at the perfect levels. You tell me that you wouldn't feel more comfortable if your entry price was over here and not over here, the breakout, because you just needed to wait for the breakout to happen. You doofus. You dumb. No, perfect trades. That's how you become invincible. All right. Any questions, class?
All right. So did we cover the promises that or promises made, promises kept? So the question was, are we going to go to 150 or revisit 113? We talked about that. We talked about your indicators, but there's one thing you didn't give me, Tom, which was Cardano.
All right, so Cardano is a fantastic setup. So we have here, I also get Cardano versus Solana, because I always love seeing like people go, oh, Solana outperformed Cardano. You're so stupid. This whole way up. Oh, you're so stupid. You're so stupid for having Cardano. And then they just held through this drop. This drop is it's the performance of Solana versus ADA. So that means that the performance of Solana versus ADA, we are at essentially March 2024 levels of. So this whole move up here that people just like clamoring about, didn't mean nothing. Now, is it better performing overall? Yeah, of course, it's better performing overall. But most of the people I know didn't buy Solana in 2022, 2021. That didn't happen. But good on them. I hope they sold at the peak, bought at the bottom and sold at the peak. Not. So, Cardano. We take a look at the beautiful Cardano chart. Let's just hide this performance indicator I'm working on. This, my friends, is a chart. So we had this run up that happened like everyone did in COVID. All right. We pulled back, and I thought we were going to pull back hella hard, way harder, way more down. We did not. We'd stay sideways for a couple of years. 2022, 2023, 2024, hard years. This price over here, this was Donald Trump recognizing, leader of the Holy Global Empire, that Cardano should be mentioned with the big wigs, because it should be top 10 market cap. And then we had the explosion up. And whereas other assets on that explosion up, I think Solana is a clear example of that one. When was that? January 2024. No, it wasn't this one. What was it? Anyways, it did not give back all of its gains. It just ebbed, as you might imagine. And so you'll notice that these patterns here coincides with the step move up in ADA. All right. So now we're breaking out. We're breaking out of this trend, moving to the upside. All right. Remember I was telling you before, Peter, that the right angle triangle is far more bullish than the pennant. Mm-hmm. So you can almost call this one almost a pennant. So it's like not sure, and then it broke out, and now it's far more consistent that this is exactly where we need to be. So this breakout, one, we're seeing a breakout in a bunch of altcoins, right? So we have that in SUI, we have that in XRP, we have it in Doge, we have it in a bunch of different assets. So that means because it's breaking out wholesale across a bunch of different altcoins, that's another reason why things are super bullish, right? Liquidity is coming in, and we're seeing it in these more risky spaces. If we're going to take a look at this chart, just technical analysis wise, you got to look at $3 as, $3.30 as we're headed there, right? So what you see over here for, if you're going to do any sort of technical analysis, is that you first do, this is the bottom that it was at. Then we take another trend line over here. So there's a ratchet up effect. And then we have another step change over here. That's a ratchet up effect even more. So once that happens, usually by the third one, it's like pulling a lawnmower. Zoom, zoom, zoom. And then you don't generally get another, well, you could move, but they're going to get steeper and steeper and steeper, right? And so this you would expect to happen halfway through the cycle, which is exactly where I think we are right now, halfway through the Bitcoin cycle, headed up. If you take a look at the coin, the midnight coin that Cardano is going to be dropping, I mean, there's not a lot of hype around it right now, right? Because there's not a lot of things you can buy with it. But the idea is that we're going to be able to have a Cardano native token, so a token on the Cardano network that provides privacy, a privacy layer on the blockchain to anybody who wants to use it. And you don't need to convert your tokens to the Cardano network in order for it to work. So it'll help onboard Bitcoin and Solana and Avalanche and all these different things. I believe Avalanche is in there. So I'm super excited. Normally, when you have the launch of a token, it's about there's a pre-launch and a pre-mine, and it's about VCs getting their beaks wet and all that, and that's not happening here. And there's something like $10 billion worth. There's this estimated $10 billion worth of midnight token that's going to be dropped to the network. So that means Cardano people and Bitcoin people and Solana people and Ethereum people and all that are going to wake up with, who knows, hundreds, thousands of dollars worth of midnight token, utility token, available for them to claim and make money on. So super excited. Cross network, and makes me far more bullish on the Cardano network.
Why aren't you putting your indicators on this chart when you're looking at this?
Oh, sure. I could do that. So we have here, let me just make it a little bit clearer for... All right, so you should see the weekly. Well, it was easier to see over there. So you can see here how the price is what's called climbing the waves. So here we climbed above this yellow one. We broke out above it. We broke out above the weekly. We broke out above the seasonal. We broke out above this one is the lustrum. We're starting to claim these moving averages. So over here, I was not particularly bullish about the short-term price action because we're below all the moving averages. But now you see this one over here, the shift, we're testing it. We're testing that moving average to the point where we brought it down and now we're climbing up above it. So there's a breakout. That's coinciding with a breakout in Bitcoin and breakout in everything. So the chances are that the price moves up, that all the sellers have already been exhausted in this asset. Super exciting. So excited, Peter.
I might make more in this Cardano move than I'll make on Polymarket. It's up a lot.
Well, to be fair, on the upside potential. So if you were to take a look at this, like I'm about to do an abomination of chart porn over here. So just bear with me.
Okay.
So if you were to see sort of this as a cup and handle, right? Generally speaking, the breakout of a larger pattern is as tall, as deep as the drawdown. So that would make the price prediction for Cardano, I have to extend the chart even more.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You can get $600 on Cardano.
What? By when?
Oh, no way to tell.
Well,
Within,
if you're telling
you know,
me 30 years, then sure.
Oh, it could be 5 years by next cycle.
Wow.
Which means by this cycle, it could be $22, $40.
Oh my God, I'm retiring if it reaches that amount of money. Well, very exciting. Thank you for letting me know about Bitcoin, Cardano, what's happening in the charts. Head over to sacredprofit.com to get those indicators. Once again, they are free, offered at zero cost. All you have to do is sign up as an affiliate for BitGet or Blowfin. More exchanges to come. Fantastic. If you haven't seen it, you can go back and look at our back catalog, our other clips, other shorts, and you can find out more about how these indicators work. But please like and subscribe, because we will be doing tutorials and showing you how to use 50x leverage, how to get these indicators, and how the dashboard works. That's coming up very, very soon. We're ironing out the kinks. I know there's people out there waiting. We're ironing out the kinks. We're very, very close. You're going to be getting access and getting everything that you need. And then we're going to be off to the races. Very excited. We really appreciate you watching us. Remember to like and subscribe. And you can check out Sacred Profit on X at Sacred Profit.
Meanwhile, as always, I'll ask you guys not to worship me, folks.
What was this?
You guys have a great week. My success rate with trades. Unbelievable. Unreal. I only carry the fame. Just the voice for the Lord. Just the voice.